out that I don't have time for statistics. I'm only concentrating on mathematics. So I wanted to withdraw from statistics for this semester and take it up next time. From withdraw from Jan term.
Oh, your voice was not audible. In between, I guess there was a breakage. I was not able to hear you.
Oh, okay. So basically, what I'm saying is, I took both mathematics and statistics for Jan term.
Okay.
Okay, able to hear me, right?
Ha 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 ha.
But since I'm working, I'm not able to get enough time to study both.
Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to concentrate only on mathematics for this term and withdraw from statistics. I'll take it up in the next term. That's what I have decided.
Okay. Okay. Mm.
So do you know the procedure to? I just sent a mail on the common mailer. I don't know whether someone has seen it or how to proceed with this. I don't.
Okay. Yeah. So the procedure, you have to, I guess, qualify for at least. So okay, let me. Whatever I know, but I'm not
know.
that confirmed. So okay, what you can do is you can just mail me regarding this. I'll reply it
Okay.
after asking the team about the I know something, but that may be incorrect. So that's why I just want to give you the correct information. How to,
Okay.
yeah. So you can just mail me
Yeah.
regarding this, and then I'll inform the
Right.
team, and they will reply you. So for sure they'll reply you. Okay.
Okay. So your mail ID is what is in the this thing, right?
Yeah,
I
this is
don't.
Vishal at the rate study.iitm.ac.in.
Uh, is it in the chat? Sorry.
Okay, I'll write it in the chat.
Yeah. Could you please say it?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
I joined the class late. What did we do till now?
Nothing, nothing. We just
Nothing.
started.
Nothing.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Please type that in the chat. I'll mail you.
Hmm.
Okay. Thanks.
So when we get graded assignment solution,
We'll get it after the deadline get ended. Okay.
the deadline ended on 31st Jan.
No, no, deadline
No.
ended will
Second.
be. It's today only. Yeah.
Yes, sir, it was extended.
Okay.
So that's why the solution you'll be getting tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. So in week two, it's like pretty simple. It's basically a straight line. This is very one of the simplest topic that we'll be going through. So week two is simplest. Even the week three is also simple. So week one to four basically is very simple. After that only you'll have something that may uh, that is a bit complicated. Otherwise, from the whole qualifier one topics are very simple. Okay, so the first thing is here is the Cartesian. What do you mean by? Yeah. So what do you mean by Cartesian system?
in which we have the x and y coordinates and quadrants like first, second, third, and fourth.
Okay, so basically you have how many quadrant? So this in the Cartesian coordinate system only, if you have a two-dimensional system, basically you represent x and y coordinates. So basically, if you have a data set in 2 dimension, you will be representing in this Cartesian system, okay, where you have one as x and one as basically y. Okay, so you can represent, like, let's for example, you have to represent a data point 2, 2, 2. So you can represent it here. Okay, so one more thing. So in the Cartesian coordinate system, that is for 2 dimensional, you have basically 4 quadrant. So this is q1, this is quadrant 1, this is q2, this is quadrant 3rd, and this is quadrant 4. Okay, can you tell me the data set about, can you give me information about the data set that will lie in quadrant 1? Is it
Positive.
both?
Positive.
Yeah, so both will be positive. You can see that,
Positive.
yeah, for a data point to be positive, for x also to be positive and y positive, to lie in the first quadrant. So here it will be positive, positive. What will be there in second quadrant? So you
Negative.
can see that,
Negative.
Negative.
yeah, x will be negative and the y will be positive, correct?
Yes.
And similarly in quadrant 3rd, it will be,
Negative.
Negative.
yeah, you can see that x also is lying on the this direction, so it is negative, and y also lying here, so it is negative. Similarly for the 4th quadrant, you can see that
Positive,
x is
negative.
positive, but y is negative. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
can you tell me about the 3 dimensional? How many quadrant system, like quadrant, are there in the 3 dimensional? Can you predict one? Can you tell me about that?
Maybe 8.
6.
Okay.
8.
Yeah, it will be 8. Yeah, because, yeah, in the 3 dimension, what happens? So x will be there, y will be there. One more quadrant will come that you can think of as that is coming out of your screen. So wherever you're seeing, so you can think of one. So that can be a 1 quadrant system. This can be a Z1. So this one, this I am showing this just coming out of your screen. Okay, so now you'll be having 4 above your screen and 4 down your screen. Okay, so you can think of as a 4 quadrant, like 4 up, 4 down, so 8 quadrant. That you don't have to read it, but just for the sake of knowledge, I just told you. So we have basically 8 quadrant in a 3 dimensional data set. So okay, in spite of a, you call this as abscissa also, and you call this y coordinate as ordinate also. Okay, so 1 to 3 quadrant I have already written it here. Okay, and this is basically what, 0, 0. So if you have to represent anything, you can represent it. Let's, for example, you have to represent 3, 3. So this can be your 3, 3. Okay, so this can be the distance of 3, 3. Similarly, if you have to represent, let's, for example, you have to represent -4, -5. Where it will lie? In which quadrant?
Third quadrant.
Yeah, it will lie in
Quadrant
3rd
three.
quadrant. Yeah,
Yes.
it will lie somewhere here. Okay, -4, -5. Okay, if it is let's, for example, 4, -3, where it will lie?
Fourth quadrant.
In the 4th quadrant. Yeah, somewhere here, 4, -3. Okay, yeah. If I have to calculate the distance, let's, for example, so the second thing that we are calculating is the distance. Okay, so the second thing is the distance between 2 points. So that is pretty simple. So whatever the data set you have been given, let's, for example, 2 data sets. So if you are calculating the distance, there must be 2 data points. Okay, if you have a 2 data points, then only you'll be able to get a line segment, and then you can calculate the distance between both the points. So let's, for example, the first point A is x1, y1, and B is x2, y2. Okay, so there's a pretty simple formula to calculate the distance. This is pretty simple. This x1 minus x2 का whole square plus y1 minus y2 का whole square. Huh. This is pretty simple. So let's see that if you have to calculate the distance d, what will be the value if you have this value is 0, 0 and this is 3, 3. Use this formula. What will be the distance, the calculated
Root 18.
distance?
3 root 2.
Yeah, correct. So basically what we'll do, this is
we
x1, this is y1, this is x2, this is y2. Okay. And the same formula you'll be using. So 0 minus 3 ka whole square plus 0 minus 3 ka whole square. Okay. So you'll be left with same. So this will be 9 plus 9. This is root 18. Correct. This is pretty simple. Okay.
So we can also
So
say
calculate a
x2
distance.
minus
It's,
x1 now.
yeah, anything you can do it, because whenever you're doing the square, so this is same as x2 minus x1 ka whole square plus y2 minus y1 ka whole square. Because
Yes.
you're doing the square, so whatever the value you are getting, it gets squared, so you'll not be having any negative value. So if you have to calculate, let's for example, you have a as a data points 2, 4 and b has minus 4, 12. Can you tell me the distance?
Ten.
10, sir. 36 plus
Yeah.
64.
10. 10.
Okay. So the other question is, let's for example, if a distance between a point A that is minus 3, y and B 1, 4. So the distance is 5 unit. You need to tell me about the
Three.
value of y. What should be the value of y? Okay, let other people try also. I guess y equals to 3 is an incorrect answer. So you'll be getting two values, right? Because if you are doing something, it will come in the form of quality equation. Okay. So you'll get two values. So one hint I'm giving you.
-5, sir.
Minus
1.
5.
1.
1, sir.
No,
1.
1 is correct, but there should be another answer also. So there should be two answers, right? One another value is what?
-1.
No, -1 won't be there. Okay. Let's solve this. So how will you write? Okay. This is 5.
7. 7.
Yeah, 7 is correct. So this is basically what? 5 minus 3 whole square plus 4 minus y ka whole square. Correct? And now if you are doing this, if you square it both sides, what are the value that we'll be getting? This is 4 ka whole square plus 4 minus y ka whole square. Okay, equals to so can you write it like this? And if you solve it, you'll get y equals to 1, 7. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So this So now there is section formula. And this is also pretty simple. This is simple, like if you have a line segment something A and B, okay, and this A is something x1 y1 and this is x2 y2, and if you have a point something P here that internally cuts this line segment into some ratio. Let's for example the ratio is ms to n, okay, and this is a point x comma y. So if you have been asked to calculate the coordinate of xy, so how will you calculate? What can be the value of x? Do you know?
mx2 plus
mx2
nx1
plus
upon
nx1 upon
m plus
n
n
plus n.
Yeah,
and
so
m1
m
2
will
plus
multiply
ny1
with
upon n.
x2, mx2 plus n you will multiply to
x1.
x1 by m plus n. What we'll do for y? This will be what? Again the m into
y2
my2
M2.
and
my2.
y1 upon m plus 1. M
x2 and x1 will be replaced by y2 and y1.
Correct? Okay. And if the same things happen externally, what will be the value? Let's for example, if the data set is something like this, if whatever the
The sign would
line
change.
segment you might have, if you have a x1 y1 and you have b x2 y2, and from here you have a data point p something like this, and now this is divided something like this. So this is m and this is n. Now you have to tell me the value of x and y. How will you write x and how will you write y?
mx2 minus nx1 divided by m minus n.
mx mx2 minus nx1
Yeah,
upon
mx2 minus, yeah, it's like almost same, you just have to do the subtraction. Okay, here also okay. So whenever you have externality, so if your data points is outside the line segment and then you have been given the ratio that this whatever the data point that is given to you, this data point externally divide this line in such a way in a ratio m is to n, then you can use the formula directly to calculate the p value. Okay, and similarly you can use for the internally also you can use this simple formula to calculate how do you get the data point. Okay, let's for example if this is the midpoint, so what can be the value of x and y if in a condition if this is the
x1 plus
midpoint, what will the
x1
value you will
plus
be
x2
getting
by 2 y1 plus
x1 plus
y2 by
x2 by
2.
2.
if midpoint? What will the value of x1?
x1 plus x2 by 2.
Yeah, x1 plus x2 by 2. So x1, why is this x1 plus x2 by 2? What will be the value of m and n?
1, sir.
1:1.
1:1.
M equals to N.
Yeah, because it's a midpoint, so it will be m equals to 1 and n equals to 1, right? This is how it will be a midpoint, correct? 1:1 ratio. So now you can write it here, x1 plus x2 by 1 plus 1, that is 2. What will the value of y? Same, right? y1 plus y2 by 2, correct? Yeah, if you have been given, let's for example, a simple question. So you have to find, you have been given the data points p, that is 2 comma 5, and you have been given q equals to 8 comma 8, and one data point is there, okay, a, that divides this line into 1:2. Now tell me the value of ax comma y.
Three comma eight.
That is not correct.
4,6.
4,6.
Yeah,
4,9, sir.
I guess 4,6 is correct. Have everyone solved that?
Yes, sir. 4,6.
4,6.
Yeah, this will be 4,6. This is pretty simple. X equals to 1 into 8 plus 2 into 2 by 3. This is 12 by 3. And y equals to 1 into 8 plus 2 into 5 by 1 plus 2. This is 18 upon 3. This is 6. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now tell me, there a line segment is given, A, that is 2 comma minus 3, and B is given 5 comma 6. Be divided by a point. Let's, for example, this is P, and that is x comma 0. And the ratio that has been divided is k is to 1. You have to tell me the value of k. So, did you understand the question? So, this is the line segment A comma B. You have a data point P that divides this line segment into k is to 1. Now, you tell me the value of k.
So is it 2?
Okay, let other people. I guess k is not correct. 2 is not correct.
1 by 2.
1 by 2.
The 1 by 2
Yeah,
is
sorry. Yes, sir. It's 1 by 2. Sorry. Yeah.
1 by 2.
1 by 2.
1 by 2.
everybody tried this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is pretty simple. So y coordinate, you are already knowing that y coordinate is 0, right? You don't have to use the x coordinate, the value, because x is already x. So you can't use the coordinate x. So you have to use the coordinate y. So y 0 equals to what? What should be the value? K multiplied with
5.
y2. That is whatever you want to write it, you can write it, plus 1 into y1 by k plus 1. Correct? So this is 0 equals to what? You can write it something k into 6 plus 1 into minus 3,
3.
that is k plus 1. So it's 6k minus 3 equals to 0. So basically 6k equals to 3. So k equals to 1 upon 2. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the similar.
Sir, can you repeat the K1 question?
What? Can you repeat? What?
This question.
Okay,
K
I
raised
was saying there's a line segment and then you have a data point P whose coordinates are x comma 0, and this P divides this line segment into k is to 1. Okay, so then you have to calculate the value of k. So we have calculated in such a way that because we were aware that y is equals to 0, we can use y only, because we can't use x as x coordinate is given as x, something that we don't know, but at least for y coordinate we know something. Okay, that the coordinate of y's data point is 0. Okay, so that can be used here, and then we have used a simple formula that we generally calculate. Okay, so you
Sir.
can try one more question you can try. This is a line segment, and here a equals to minus 4 comma, sorry, 1 comma minus 4, and you have a b coordinate 4 comma minus 1. P is given as 1 comma a. And this divides the line segment into k is to 1. Now tell me the value of k. Or tell me the value of a here. So first calculate k and then calculate a. What is the value you are getting?
One by 4.
I guess 1 by 4 is not correct. I guess it should be something.
K equals to 2 by 3.
Denominator will be 3.
2 by 3.
2 by 3 is correct. What is the value of a then? See, you can calculate, you have x coordinate, right? So what are the data that has been given to you? X coordinate, so you can write it like this, 1 equals to, and then you can write it like this, 4k, and then 4k minus 1 by k plus 1. Okay, if you'll do the cross multiplication, you're left with k plus 1 equals to 4k minus 1, and then you have 3k equals to 2. So k you are getting as 2 by 3. How can you calculate a? So a equals to what? A is simply the y coordinate. Okay, what is the formula of y coordinate? You already are aware of that, right? So it will be, you can directly multiply that.
No, this 1 is equal to 4 minus
Minus 14 by 5.
1 equals to 4, no, minus 14 by 5 is not correct.
No, sorry, sir. How did you get 4k 4k minus 1 because it is just having x, right? Here it's equals
It should be 4k
mx2
plus 1.
mx2 plus
Yes,
ns.
it should be 4k
4k.
plus 1.
Plus 1.
And from the rule, sir, k equal to 0, and that is not
Yes,
possible.
yes, sir. That's why it's coming 0k as.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably
A is
Hmm.
equal to 0.
What's the formula of x?
mx2 plus nx1.
mx2 plus nx1.
Mx2
Plus mx1 by m plus
What is the m here? K.
K,
m
What is
is
the n here?
1.
1.
What is x2?
It is 4.
4.
4.
4, correct? Okay, what is x1?
x is
Okay, this is 1.
1.
Okay, sorry, this was minus 1. Okay, okay. Yeah, that was my bad. So it should be minus 1. Then only you'll be able to solve.
yes,
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 sir.
correct.
Okay. Let's move to the other question then. I guess this is clear, right?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Yes.
Okay, now there is a question that if there is a point P that is lying on the x-axis. Okay, so I'll just give you, if you have something on the x-axis, this is y-axis. If you have something on the x-axis, what will be the value coordinate of what will be the value of y if some data point is
Zero.
available there? That will be 0, right?
0.
And
Y
if
is equal
something is
to
there in the, yeah. So
X
the
will be
coordinate if for any data point that is lying on the x-axis will be in the form of x comma 0, correct?
Yes,
And similarly, if a data point that is lying on the y-axis, what should be the value? 0 comma
0, comma
y.
y.
0, comma
0,
y.
comma x. 0, comma y.
Okay. Just I want to say something. And then you have a question on this itself. You have a question something like, so there is a point P, okay, and that is lying on x-axis. So this point is lying on x-axis. And this divides a line segment that is A 4 comma 3 and B 2 comma minus 6 in the ratio case to 1. Okay, this is a point P that is lying on x-axis. This dividing this into case to 1. You tell me the value of K.
One by two.
1 by 2, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so 1 by 2 is I guess 1 by 2. How are you getting 1 by 2? 1 by 2 is correct. Yeah. What is the value of this coordinate x?
10 by 3.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
10 by 3, comma 0.
Yeah, this is correct. Everybody has tried this?
Yes, sir. It's 10 by 3 and 0.
Okay. Yeah. let's move to the next topic. Now you have a formula like this. Like this week itself is like you have to mug up some of the formulas. Okay, like section formula, and then you have a area of triangle, right? What is the formula? Anybody has remembered this?
Yes, sir.
What is that? 1 by 2
1 by
now.
2 x1
x2 minus
One y2
X-
minus y3.
by 3 plus
Hmm.
x2 y3 minus y1, then x3
Okay.
y1 minus y2. And the whole should be under mod.
Yeah, that will be on mode 1. Okay. So yeah, this you have to mug up, and you can just use some pattern. X1, x2, x3 is there, and then you have to start rotating the value of y2. So it will be something y2 minus y1, and then it will be y3, and then this will be y1. Okay, you can just remember it in some way because you can't derive it in the exam, so it is very difficult. So whenever you have a questions related to area of a triangle, one thing that you should be checking is whether these all data points. Okay, let's for example you have a data points x1, x2, x. You have 3 data points a, b, c, that is x1, y1, b, x2, y2, c, x3, y3. If all these data points are lying on a same straight line, then what will be the value of area? What is the area of a triangle if all the 3 are lying on a straight line? What will be the value of area?
0.
0.
It is collinear.
Oh,
That is 0. Yeah, so it is
value of
basically
y is
collinear.
0.
Yeah, because if you have data points something like this, A, B, and C, you can calculate the area of a triangle. Okay, so that's why the area of a triangle will be 0 if you have a data point that is lying on the same straight line. Okay, so whenever you have a question related to area of a triangle, do not jump in and start calculating the value, because most of the time you will be getting the value of the area as 0. Okay, let's for example the value of A is 0, 10. This is minus 20, minus 30, and this is 10, 30. What is the value of area of a triangle? So what did I say? First you have to check whether all the 3 points are lying on the same straight line or not. And
Yes, sir. They are
then when you
lying. No. Yes, sir. It's collinear.
okay, and how do you check the data points are collinear or not?
So I draw the rough diagram for it. Collinear.
Okay. So drawing the diagram, I don't think so this is a good idea, because many a times you'll get to like, yeah, you can do it in that way also, but it's better that you can just calculate the slope, right? So the slope of AB must be equal to the slope of BC, correct? And if this is occurring, you can directly say that it's a collinear, because if you are taking any data points, even though AB is there, so the slope must be same. So this should be in something like this, right? How do you calculate the slope of a 2 data points if you have been given? Okay, and then
y2
so you have to
minus
check.
y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1.
Correct. So this is what I was saying. Whenever you have been given to calculate the area, so do not jump in and start trying this, because this may take some time, right? 2-3 minutes. So it's better first check whether the data points that is given to you, whether they are parallel. So just take it 2 data points at a time out of 3 data points. Okay, you can just take it AB, BC, or AC, whatever you want to take, and then see that whether the lines are, the slope of both the data points that you have calculated, the line segment that you are getting from the two data points, if the slopes are same for both, you can directly say that the area must be 0. Okay, and how do you calculate the slope? So the slope of a straight line is pretty simple. So if you have to calculate anything, this is basically m equals to del y by del x. So there is a small change in whatever the y and small change in x, and you directly write it like y2 minus y1 or x2 minus x1. Okay, and this is basically what? The tan
Tan
theta.
theta.
So if you have a straight line, something like this is x1 y1 and this is x2 y2. So this will be your tan theta, or you can say that the slope that you've got equals to del y upon del x, and that is basically y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Correct? And how you it's pretty simple. Like you have been given some line segment. This is the theta that you are getting. So let's for example, this is x1 y1, this is x2 y2. Correct? And we'll just draw a straight line, something like this. This theta should be equals to what? Let's for example, this is P and this is B. This is base and this is the perpendicular line. So what is the value of tan theta that you get? Theta is equals to what?
Perpendicular upon base.
Perpendicular upon base. What should be the value of perpendicular? If this is x2 y2, what should be the value?
y2 minus y1.
Yeah, this is y2 till here and this is y1, right? So the difference will be what? y2 minus y1. And if you have something, this is x2 and this is x1, the difference will be what?
x2 minus
Del x will be what?
X2
x1.
minus
So if you are writing it here, there is something y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. That is basically del y upon del x. And that is your slope, okay? That is what you are represented in the form of m. Is it clear?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a doubt. Like when you calculated the slope, can you slope of AB is equal to slope of BC? So, sir, can we take any points like slope of AC and is equal to slope of BC or slope of like any?
Yeah. See, you have a straight line A. This is B. This is C. If you are taking this or this, also that is fine. AB, BC. The slope is same, right? If you are taking BC or AC, then also the slope are same, correct? So any two data points you can take it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, let's solve this problem. You have a line that is passing through origin, and so a data point is passing through a 0, 0 and minus 3, 5. What should the value of slope?
minus 5 by 3.
Minus 5 by 3. 5 by 3.
Yeah. It's basically
Minus
what did I say?
5 by 3.
So if we are doing by minus 3, so this is 5, minus 5 by 3. Okay. Yeah. So if a two line parallel to each other, what will be the value? If two
0.
parallel lines are there, then what should be the relation between the slope of the two lines? So this is a line 1, this has
One is
slope
equal to
m1.
Equal.
Slope.
Yeah, so this m1 should be equals to m2, correct?
Yes.
If you have this is L1 and this is L2, and for the two perpendicular lines. So let's, for example, this is L1 and this is L2. What will be the condition for M1, M2?
Minus
M1
one.
into L2 is equal to -1.
Yeah, correct. So if we have, if this is the slope M1 and the slope M2, so the product
So
M1
product will be equal to
M2
minus.
should be equal to -1.
Do we have to by heart
So let's,
this
for example,
that M1 times M2 equals to -1, or is there some proof for that one?
yeah, there is some proof. Okay, you can have a proof for this itself. Let's, for example, I'm just giving you one example, you can get an idea. Let's, for example, that is a straight line L1. You have AX1 plus, it's not AX1, this is AX plus BY plus C, and there's two other straight line L2 equals to A1 B1 C1 A2 X plus B2Y plus C1 C2. If both the lines are perpendicular, L1 is perpendicular to L2, what are the conditions that will get in the form of A1 A2?
I didn't follow that. What was the question, sir? What is the
Yeah, the question is pretty simple. You have a straight line that is
Yeah.
L1. That's basically not this. This is L2. This is L1 and this is L2. And both are perpendicular to each other. You have to give me a condition in the form of A1 and B, A and B.
No.
Sir, I think for the perpendicular lines, the coefficient of x it should be equal to -1. A1 into A2 equal to -1.
No, you'll get a different value. So, okay, tell me the slope of this M1 and slope of M2.
Minus A by B.
This is what? Minus A by B. What is this? A by B?
A1 by
Like
B1.
A1. And the M2 will be what? Minus A2 by B2.
A2 by B2.
Okay. How do you calculate the slope of this line, L1? What is the slope of this straight line? How do you calculate the slope? See, if you have been given a straight line in the form of y equals to mx plus
Y
c.
mx plus c, right? So it would be minus a1 x minus c1 by, okay, so minus a1 by b1. That would be the slope for this.
Correct. So you can write it like this: b1 y equals to minus ax plus minus c1. So y equals to something like this: minus a1 by b1 x minus c1 by b1. So this will be your slope, correct?
Right.
This is basically m, and this
Right.
is basically your c, the constant term.
Yes.
So you can write
Yes.
it the value of m. So m1 is basically minus a1 by b1, and m2 is already minus
a2 by b.
a2 by b2. And I already told you for the perpendicular. Okay, and how do you get the perpendicular? So this is pretty simple. So you already know how do you calculate if you have been given a two straight line, right? Two straight line is been given where the slope is m1 and the m2. How do you calculate the tan theta? So tan theta, I mean, how do you calculate the angle between two straight line?
It would be
Mod of
kind
M2 plus M1 upon 1 minus M2 into M1.
Yeah, there's something like this: m1 minus m2, and then you
Sir,
have one m1 m2. correct? And if you have a 90-degree, that
Yes, sir.
means
Yes.
tan 90 is what? Something 1 upon
Slope
0.
are
That is indeterminate.
undefined.
Yeah, that is one undefined, right? So it's something 1 upon 0. So if you equate this value, so when can this be a undefined value? When this 1 plus m1 m2 is equals to 0. That is how it comes m1 m2 equals to -1. Did you
Yes,
get the idea from where we are getting m1 m2 -1? As we have a 90-degree, and you already know that how the tan theta, if you see the, so it will go something like this, right? Correct? So the representation of tan theta, so whenever it will come to pi by 2, it will be something undefined form. Okay, that is 1 upon 0, something like that. So if you have to make this whole as an undefined term, so you have to equate this 1 plus m1 m2 as 0, right? That is how we are getting m1 m2 as -1. So this is from here itself we are getting m1 m2. So whenever you have a two straight line that is perpendicular to each other, you can directly represent that the slope of both the straight lines should be equals to -1. The product of slope should be -1. So for this case, whenever I gave you, so here the slope was what? Minus a1 by b1. So this is m1. So the product, so that means the other one is a2 by b2 should be equals to -1. Okay, so a1 a2 should be equals to what? Minus b1 b2. So this should be a1 a2 plus b1 b2 should equals to 0. This was the
Yeah,
condition that you should be
I
getting.
understood that part, but the only part that I did not understand, if you scroll down a little bit,
Sir, this is the generalized form of the perpendicular line.
yeah, this tan theta m1 minus m2 is the part that I did not understand. How did you come up with this one? Tan theta equals to m1 minus m2 by 1 plus m1 m2.
So this basically, if you have to calculate, okay, and L2. So this is some theta value, right? So how do you calculate the angle between two lines? Okay, this is the formula for tan theta. That is, if you have m1 and this is m2. If you have a slope of the slope of the two straight line is given to you, then how do you calculate the angle of this theta? So this is how you calculate. This is basically m2, or you can directly write it at, like, for L1 there should be some value, right? So for L1, so let's, for example, this is the coordinate system x and y. Okay, so for this L1 also there, see, if this as a straight line L1, so there must be some angle there must be some angle that L1 is making with x-axis. So here also it will be having some value. Let's, for example, this is theta 1, and this is L2 also will be making some value. Let's, for example, this is tan theta 2. Okay, so in the in the trigonometry you would have read about how do you calculate the difference of this angle. Okay, so if whenever you'll calculate it, comes something like this, right? Tan theta 1 minus tan theta 2 upon something like this plus tan theta 1 or tan theta. So this is how you calculate the angle. And then if you represent in the form of m1 m2, you will be getting something like this: m1 minus m2 and then 1 plus m1 m2.
Because
Okay.
tan theta is described as a.
And did I describe as a?
Yes, clear.
Okay, so you can write it something like this. And then you have a tan as a 90. So this generally comes something like, you have to make it as an indeterminate form, because you are already aware of the plot of the tan theta, because as the tan theta will approach from 0 to infinite, so the value will start increasing a lot and it will come something like this. Okay, and it goes something like this at minus pi by 2. So at pi by 2 at 90 degree, it will be in some form indeterminate or 1 upon 0. So it will start tending to very large value. So how can you make this a large? Because there is only one method if you are representing something like this. Okay, so to make this as a 0, we equated this value to the 0 and we get as a -1.
Got it. Thank you.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, so if you have been given a straight line L1 equals to A1 x plus B1 y plus C1 equals to 0, and L2 equals to A2 x plus B2 y plus C2 equals to 0. Okay, so tell me the condition in the form of A1 B1 only. First condition it should fulfill is L1 should be parallel to L2, and the second is L1 is perpendicular to L2. So this I've already told you. You need to tell me about the L1 parallel to L2. And this is important because many a times it will be directly asked in the paper also.
If sir L1 is parallel to L2, then A1 is equal to A2 and B1 is equal to B2, but C1 is not equal to C2.
So it is A1 upon A2 is equal to B1 upon B2.
Okay. What did I say about the parallel lines? If you have a parallel lines,
Slopes are equal. So M1 is
slope
equal
should
to
be
M2.
equal. M1 should be equals to M2. What are the slope that we were getting?
Minus A1 upon B1.
Minus
A by B.
A1 upon B1 equals to minus B2. Correct? So this should be what? A1 B2 minus A2 B1 equals to 0. This is what you will get. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there any doubt anyone is this one? What about this perpendicular line?
A1, A2 plus B1, B2 equals to 0.
A1, A2, B1, B2. Yeah, you can check it here. So here we told like minus A1, B1 into minus A2, B2 upon B2 should be equals to minus 1. Okay. So if you are representing a straight line, so whatever I saw the general form. So whenever you have to represent in the general form, this is pretty simple. You can directly write it like Ax plus by plus c equals to 0. And if you have to write it in the form of slope point form, this is pretty simple. This is like a general form. What should be the value of slope here?
So delta y upon delta x.
Minus A by B.
Minus A by
Y
B.
upon del x equals to minus A by B. Correct? Yeah, slope point form is pretty simple. You have been given some data points, and then you have, so for this term, you can be, and then you have been given plus slope has been given. So slope is given also.
Sir, cross
Then how will you
multiplication.
calculate the equation of a straight line? Yeah, so you can directly write it like this: y minus y1 upon x minus x1. So you can get the equation of a straight line, right? If you have been given the slope and straight line, y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. You can directly write it like
Yes, sir.
m x minus x1 plus y1. Correct? Sorry. If you have to write it like this,
it is y1, no?
What? Y1. Okay. So if you have been given two data points, how will you calculate this? If you have been given x1, y1 and x2, y2, a and b, how will you calculate the equation of a straight line? Equation of line.
Y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1 and x bracket x minus x1.
Yeah, you can directly calculate this in the form of, again, whatever I said. In the slope point form, what did I say? You should be having one data points, one data should be there, and then slope should be there. So from here also you can calculate the slope first. So this will be y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. And then this is the slope, right? This is m for you. And then you can calculate directly in the form of slope point form. So this is going to be y1 minus y1 and then x minus x1. This will be the equation of the straight line. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. And let's, for example, if you have been given a straight line y equals to mx plus c, what do you mean by the intercept? If this is the equation, what do you think will be the value of intercept on x-axis or on the y-axis? What should be the value? So intercept basically is, see, if you have to get the intercept on y-axis, you just directly put the value of x equals to 0. If you are putting the value of x equals to 0, what should be the what is the value you are getting for y? Y is equals to c, right? Yeah, so this is what you are getting. The intercept for this straight line on y-axis is c, correctly? Correct? So basically there is an intercept form also.
Cut the line
If you
on
have been given the
x-axis and
intercept,
y-axis.
yeah, you can directly, intercept form is pretty simple, x upon a plus y upon b equals to 1. So can you tell me the intercept on the x-axis and y-axis? What should be the value of on the x-axis and y-axis?
So on x-axis is 0b and in y-axis is a 0.
No, to calculate for x-axis now, you put the value of y equals to 0. If you are putting the value of y equals to 0, you are getting x equals to a, right? And to get intercept,
Sir, on the x-axis,
y
x value is constant and y value is 0. This is y value is constant, x value is 0.
on the x-axis. On the x-axis, will always be a will vary and y will always be constant. And that constant will be always 0. Okay. Okay. Tell me, if a line, a straight line that is parallel to x-axis, what should be the value? What the equation will look like? What? If there is a straight line that is parallel to x-axis, this is x-axis, right? This is y-axis. If I am drawing a straight line that is parallel to x-axis, how will you represent that equation? In the form of y equals to some constant or x equals to some constant? Which one of them is correct? 1 or 2?
1.
One.
So y is equal to constant, correct?
Y
One
equals
much.
constant.
Yeah, y equals to constant is correct, right? Because here y will be constant, x
But
will vary.
why
So here also
why
let's
we
what
can slide down or up or down the line, straight line. So y will also vary.
no for this straight line only.
Yeah.
That will vary. That is
No,
correct.
so constant.
So if we are putting, if we are putting y equals to constant, right? So on this, let me okay, for all these 3 points, let's, for example, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. What should be the value of this a? This a, what is the value? What is the data point of a? And what is the
1,
data point of b? And what is the data point of c?
2 and 2.
What is the data point? 1 comma c, right? And here also 2 comma
1,
c, and here also 3 comma c. So what is
Yes, sir.
constant here?
C.
Y is always
Y, sir.
constant. Y is always constant. So you can directly represent this line as y equals to C.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is what I was saying. If you have an equation in the form a x upon a and y upon b equals to 1. So at what point it will cut? Like x-axis, at what point it will cut y-axis? This is what I was saying. To get the intercept for x-axis, you can directly put a y as a 0 because you already know that on the straight line on the x-axis the y will be 0, right? So that is how you can get the value of x directly. See, let's for example you have a straight line something like this. You have a coordinate axis x and y. If you have to represent this straight line, how will you represent this straight line? You have to get the x and y. If you are able to get two coordinates, you can directly get the straight line, correct?
Yes.
Right? So how can you get the 2 points? So 1 point you can get it whenever you'll put the value of x equals to 0, and the other point you can get it by putting the value of y equals to 0, right? If I'm putting, let's for example, the first condition, x equals to 0 I'm putting. What should be the value of y?
Y some A or B?
It will be equal
B,
to
right? Correct. So it will be B. And if I'm putting the second is y equals to 0. So x I'm getting as A. Right? So 2 point I
Yes.
got it. So the 1 point
Yes,
is
sir.
0 comma A. And the other point is what? 0 comma B. And this is the straight line. This should be the straight line, this straight line. Correct? And this is what I was saying. If you have if a line is represented in this form, you can directly get the intercept value. Okay?
Sir,
The intercept
something
value.
wrong with
What?
something wrong.
Sir, in x-axis there is a actually is 0,
Yes.
which is not possible, no?
What x value?
I think.
In x-axis,
Zero
sir,
A.
there is a point 0a. It should be a0, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. This is 0. Yeah, A0. Correct. This is A, comma 0. Yeah. So this is what I was saying. If you have a straight line in this form, intercept form, you can directly get the value of the intercept for each axis. You can directly for any straight line. For any straight line, if you have been given, let's for example, 5x plus 4y equals to 1. Can you tell me the x and y coordinate intercept? What is the x intercept? And what is the y intercept?
1/5 and 1.
And Y intercept is
Yeah.
sorry.
Yep. You have to calculate the
X
x intercept and y
is 5
intercept.
0.
You can put the
1
value
by
of
5
5
and 1 by
0 here.
4.
Minus 1
Yeah, this
by
will be 1 by 5 and this will be 1 by 4. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah. General.
Yes, sir.
General formula.
Correct. It's pretty simple. You just have to put the value of other value. If you have to get for x intercept, you just put the value of y
Yes, sir.
as
C by
0.
A, C by B.
Correct. Okay. So this is what the 3/4 form in which you write the slope. Okay. In the 3/4 form in which you write basically the equation of a straight line. So if you have been given 4, 5 and then 7, 8, what should be the equation of a straight line? It's pretty simple. You can directly calculate it. I'm not going to calculate it. It's like you can calculate the slope,
Yes,
and
sir.
then you can use it
Minus A by B.
So it's pretty simple. There should not be any issue. So yeah, the next thing is you have to calculate the distance, and this is also a simple distance of a line from a point. If you have been given a straight line something like this, and if you are calculating the distance, that is basically the perpendicular distance that you're calculating. Okay, and this is x1, y1, and the equation of the straight line is something x plus by plus c. So the distance, how will you calculate the distance?
Sir,
So
ax1
the
plus
proof,
by
I
plus
don't
c
think
upon square root of a square plus b square.
correct. So the proof is not required. You can directly,
Yes, sir.
you can just put this
Under absolute value.
this straight line in here. Yeah, you can just put the data points on this line y1 plus c, and then you can divide a square plus b square.
B square.
This is how you calculate. Yeah, so the most important portion, so these are all formulas that you should be knowing, okay, and then practice some of the questions.
Sir, this live stream is stuck somehow.
Is it stuck or what? You're not able to see the screen or what?
No, sir, it's fine. You're
Yes, sir.
able to.
Fine,
It's
sir.
fine.
Some network issue, sir. I think, sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
sometimes audio gets.
Yes, sir. Sometimes your voice gets muted, like you're not audible.
Okay, okay. Maybe my Wi-Fi is
Stop.
not working properly, so I don't know why. That's the case. So that's why I connected with my mobile phone. So my Wi-Fi was not working. Just now I get to know. So that's why I connected with my phone internet. Okay. Is it fine now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So the most important portion for this week is, and that is like that you should be knowing that you can't leave. Other than that, all the things are pretty simple. All the things are pretty simple. Like that is mostly the formula based and all. So now the most important portion is the SSC. Okay. Okay. Have you went through this? What do you mean by sum squared error?
Sir, minimize.
Your voice
Sir,
is lagging.
sir, some.
Okay, okay, okay. Just give me 1 second. I'll just try to correct it.
But this concept not clear.
Yeah, give me 1 second. The net is not working properly. Are you able to hear me now? Is it fine, better or no?
We can hear you.
Sir, after
Is
this
it
concept,
better?
sir, can you again explain the section formula?
Yeah, I'll explain this. Yeah. Is my voice audible? Is it fine now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Are you able
Always.
to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, yeah, sum of squared error. This is pretty simple. So from the name itself, you are already knowing that this is basically doing something. This is squaring some error. So first, so from the term itself, you can know that first I'm calculating some error, then I'm doing the square of that, okay, and then I'm doing the summation. Okay, so the three things I'm doing from the name itself, it is clear. First, I'm calculating some error. So this is the first thing that I'm calculating. Then I'm doing the
Yes.
square of
Yes.
that,
Yes.
and then I'm doing the summation of that. Right? So the three things I'm doing.
Sir,
Fine.
voice is. Yeah.
Sir, your voice is fine now.
It's fine, right? Or
Yeah, yeah,
it's not
sir.
audible.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's
No, it's
audible.
fine.
Sir,
Okay. If it is not fine, I can take the session later also. There's no problem in that. I'll reschedule the session. Okay, because
Fine.
it's fine, right? Okay.
no, sir. Fine, fine.
It's perfect.
Okay.
speed.
So what I was saying is, to calculate the sum of a squared error, there is three things that should be there in your mind. You are doing you are calculating some error first of all, and then you are doing the squared, and then you are doing the summation of all the value that you have calculated. Okay. So what happens in our general life? So maybe in class 12th or maybe in 10th, whenever you were there in the physics lab or somewhere, right? You used to verify that Ohm's law or some of the laws that you used to verify, and then you used to know that there was an error, right? So the value that you were getting from the predicted value or the actual value, that there was some vary between them, right? So if you are calculating v equals to like what are whatever the equation, let's for example there is some model that you are verifying, okay, and the formula that is given in your textbook or somewhere. So the formula can be something, right? So let's for example the formula is y equals to mx plus c, okay, and this y equals to mx plus c, or okay, I'll simplify this, y equals to mx, okay. This is some formula, okay, that you have to verify in your lab, and you have been given, so this is the formula that is given, so this is the given value, okay, and then you are calculating whenever you are doing something like practically you are calculating, so the actual value will be getting something else, so there will be some vary between them, so the actual and the predicted one, okay. So there you will be getting some error, or in the ML you'll be going to know about, like in whenever you'll reach in the diploma or some courses in the ML courses, some basic ML courses, you'll get to know that whenever you build a model on any learning like supervised learning, and whenever you are building some model, okay, so you are getting some form of a mathematical equation that you are getting, okay, on the basis of whatever the let's for example you are giving some data set, okay, to build a model, okay. You are just giving, this is a pretty the simplest one. If you just want to predict the rate of a mobile phone, and you have already the sum of the data points you have been given already, then on the basis of the data sets, whatever the data set that has been given to you, you just build a model, a mathematical equation you build such that to predict the rate of a phone that is coming to you next, okay. Not on the like you have been given some data set, so this can be some data set, some 1,000 data set has been given to you, 1,000 different types of phone you have been given to you, okay, and then on the basis of this different 1,000 phones, and this 1,000 phones will be having some features, like let's for example the features of the phone can be what's the RAM, what's the ROM, or what's the camera and all. So there can be so many features, and on the basis of that features you have to build a model mathematical equation to get the price of the next phone, right? So that can be a one model, correct? Okay. Similarly, everyone can build their own model, M2, M3, M4, and all the models will be slightly different from each other. Okay. So let's, for example, you got some model M1. So this is the mathematical equation that you got. Okay. But whenever you the rate of the rate that you have predicted and the actual rate that will be coming in the market, okay, will be a slightly different. That they can be slightly different. That can be the error that you basically say. Okay. So, and the same example you can think of in the lab that you were doing in the class 12th or 10th. You were doing some labs and there was some equation. So, Ohm's law or something was there. And when you were verifying that, so there was some error between those two, right? So, those error you can calculate it here. So, those are the error that we are talking about. And then, whatever the error that you are getting on those cases, because you'll be having different x and y value, right? So, you'll be having some x and y value, so it will be some all like a1 b1 a2 b2 a3 b3, so you'll be calculating this all things, you'll be calculating the predicted one from your model that you have built or the book in the textbook whatever was given to you, okay, and the actual also you'll be calculating, the actual you'll be calculating whenever you are in the lab and all. So there will be slight difference between them. So for each of the data point you'll be calculating the predicted and actual, and whatever the error that you are getting, the error you can calculate it. This is the error that we are talking about, okay, and then you have to do the square of that error and then do the summation of those all error, okay. So let's for example you are getting yi here first, yi2 here you are getting, and then you have to do the square, and then yi3 you are getting here, so you have to do the summation. This is basically yi square plus y2 I car square plus y3 I car square. Okay, this is the final value that we'll be getting. Okay, so we have calculated the error, we have calculated the square of that, and then we did the summation of all those squares. This is what we are supposed to calculate. Is this clear to everyone? And if you have a doubt, you can just ask
So can you
me in
explain
this.
by some examples?
Yeah, I'll explain you with some
So
examples. Yeah. Go ahead.
why
You
I
were asking
can't?
something. I didn't hear you. Maybe can you repeat that? I'm the only one who is not able to hear him, or
No, I think
Yes, sir.
his
Rohit
power.
is
His voice is
audible.
breaking.
No, sir, he is not audible.
okay.
Internet issue.
But they are saying for repeat, I think.
What?
They're saying for repeat.
Okay.
Repeat the concept.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Fine.
what was that?
Sir, audible.
Yeah, audible. So I'll repeat it.
Thanks, sir.
This sum of a squared error. This is basically sum of squared error. See, there are three concepts here. First, I have to calculate some error. I'll tell you what is that error. Then you have to do the square of that and do the summation of that. Okay. And what is that error? Let's, for example, y equals to 2x plus 2. So this is the equation. This is the model that has been given in my textbook. Okay, this has been given somewhere, textbook or some formula that has been derived, that has been derived. Okay, or we have built a model on a different data set, and then we came up with this model, this mathematical equation that we have came up. But when we are doing the physical experiment and all, we are getting a different set of actual value. Okay, let's, for example, for this is x and this is my y. Okay, so this is my x.
Yes.
And the x can be, this is 1, 2, 4 and 9. This is the x value on which I'm doing the experiment, and I'm getting the values as 5, 6, 9 and 18. This is the actual value that I'm getting.
Yes, sir. Why is output?
Okay, after doing the experiment. Yeah, why is the output that I'm getting? Why is the output that I'm getting the actual output that I'm getting? Okay, but I'll be getting a different output from here. This is this is the mathematical equation that you have derived. Okay, but this is what you are getting by doing some experiment. Okay, so from the experiment you are going, for this x equals to 1 you are getting some 5, for x equals to 2 you are getting 6, for x equals to 4 you are getting 9, and for 9 you are getting 18. Okay, but whenever you will do the testing or from the model, you are getting some different value. Okay, so this value will be different. So there is some slight difference between let's, for example, y equals to, whenever the x equals to 1, if you are putting the x equals to 1, what is the value of y you are getting? 2 into 1 plus 2. So 4 you are getting, correct? So there is a slight difference, slight error between those two, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the actual versus the model. From the model, whatever the value you are getting. So there can be, so whenever you build a model in the ML also, there will be some error. You are not going to get the exact model, right? There will be some error. Whenever, let's, for example, you are predicting the price of a house. Whenever you are predicting the price of a house, how will you build a model? If you have to build a model, M model, such that you will be able to predict the rate of the house. Okay, so this house, so how will you build a model? First of all, you should be having some data set on which you will be building. So from you have to learn something, right? From where you will be learning, you will be having some data set of the previous, whatever the house that is built in the locality, or you will be having a data set of a house, like where you will be given some sort of features like what's the number of room, or let's, for example, how, like, the distance from the railway station, distance from the airport and all, something like that. So you'll be having this type of features, and then you will be having different type of house, h1, h2, h3, different type of house has been given, and on that basis you are calculating a model, M model, such that whenever you will be given a new house, then you will be able to predict the rate of that house, but the actual rate at which that will be sold will be a slightly different, correct? So that is the difference that we are calculating, the actual rate versus the rate that you have calculated from the model. So in the ML also, in the machine learning also, whenever you are building a model, and so the error that you are getting should be as minimum as possible. If you are decreasing the error as much as possible, then that means what? Your model is very close to the actual one. There can't be a perfect thing, but you can just reduce the error to get as close as possible. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it clear to? Yeah. So this is what we are doing. So we are just learning a brief idea. We are just learning one of the concept of the ML here. That is the sum of the squared error. So this is basically used in ML to just reduce. So if you are able to calculate the error, you can build a model also. How will you build the model? You can just tell the model that the error should be as minimum as possible whenever you are building. So I'm just saying in the form of like the language form, but whenever you're writing the code, you can just give some information such that the error should be minimum. So you just have to tell them, whenever you're building a model, you just have to tell whatever the error that I'm calculating from the SSE, you just have to minimize that. Either while minimizing that, then after minimizing on this data set, you just give me a model such that the error is minimum. Okay, so that's why we are calculating the error here. So basically the error is the difference between the actual and the predicted model, and then you are doing the square of that, and then you are doing the summation of all those things. Is this clear now?
Yes, sir. Clear now. Some motive is comparison between two models and which model is minimum error. That's better.
You can think of like that also. You have been given two models, maybe mine or yours, and then you have to calculate how much there is a deviation between two models. Okay, or you can
Yes.
calculate between the actual and the model that you have created, the model that you have created, or between the model that you have created and the actual values that you are getting. So there will be a slight difference. That actual error, the error that you are calculating, this is what you are doing in the sum of square error. That's the error for you, and then you are doing the summation, and then you are doing the summation of all this, because for each of the data points you'll be getting an error, right? So that's why
Yes.
we are doing the summation of all those things. So this is what the sum of square error is.
Clear, sir.
Okay. So so this is what I was giving you, the one example. You can calculate. I'll just we can calculate that. So the model that has been given to you is y equals to 2x plus 2, and the values that you have got while testing is this values: 1, 2, 4, 9, 5, 6, 9, 18. This is the actual model, and this is the values that you have got while doing the experiment. Okay, now tell me what is the sum of a squared error. So you first calculate the error, do the square, and then do the summation for all these 4 cases. Tell me the value. Sir, 6. Yeah, let everybody solve this. Yeah, I guess 6 is correct.
Yes, sir. Values are 4, 6, 10, and 20. The perfect is 6.
We'll get it 6. That is correct. So you can calculate this. What is the value that you are getting? Yi.
Sir, 4.
X equals to 4.
So 4, 6,
6,
10,
20.
and then last one is 20. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can calculate the error. You can see that 5 minus 4 ka whole square plus 6 minus 6 ka whole square plus 10 minus 9
minus 9 ka whole square, and
plus
then 20 minus
20
18.
minus 18. Yeah, this is 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4. This is 6.
Yeah.
If you have any doubt, you can just ask me. And this is important. Yeah. So whatever I said, this is the important portion that I have elaborately told you. So you can expect one question from here. So I'm just telling you for sure there will be some questions from this SSC concept. So you can practice this as much as, so there can be a variety of questions, but this is the simplest one that we have solved. I'll solve some other questions also. Maybe in the next week, I'll come up with some questions. Okay. I will try to solve some of the questions from the SSC. But it's the important one that you should be knowing.
Yes.
Okay. Is this clear to everyone?
Yeah, clear, sir. Concept is clear, and practice, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some
So this
practice
was it for
makes
this.
crystal clear.
Correct. Yeah. So again, you have a session. So I have discussed all the concept that was there in week 2.
Okay.
Sir, you're not audible.
I think his battery is down.
His battery
Yeah,
is
something 7-8%.
I think we can.
Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, yeah, visible.
So what I
Can
was
you
saying
explain?
is, this was the
Carry on.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So some issue regarding
You were
to
asking something.
section formula. Yes, section formula not clear. So concept is clear, but I can't able to solve some problem.
Okay, which one? So you can see this is pretty simple. Again, this is a formula that I'm getting. So if you have a sign A, B, points and for 2 returns, you can get it.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Yes, voice is breaking.
Session. I'll take the other session. Maybe the Sunday session I'll come up. Okay, I'll take the Sunday session also. Right? So this is given to someone else, but I'll take the session. So till that time, what you can do is you can go through the lecture. I have discussed the concept. You can go through, try some problems, and we'll solve the problems, whatever the doubt you have.
Yeah, sir, I'm asking later. I think that's better for me because voice is not so clear. So
Sir has left the meeting.
I'm really sorry for today, but okay, I'll compromise that maybe in the coming Sunday. Okay, so day after tomorrow.
sir, voice is
Maybe I
clear.
have to check the. Is it clear right now? Clear.
Yeah, yes,
Okay,
a clear
but
voice.
in between, I guess there is some connection error.
So
Yeah, there is some connection issue.
Sunday is in the
Yeah.
calendar, right? When we have to attend this. That's what you said.
Yeah, Sunday I'll be taking. You have today also, but that will be taken care by TS. But I'll be taking on the Sunday for sure. Okay.
Sir,
No,
a link
Sunday,
is
the
given
invite
on
is in
the
the
calendar.
calendar.
What?
Sir, link is given in the calendar. So how?
It's there in the calendar. Sunday you have some 8 to 10, I guess. 8:30 to 10:30 in the night.
Okay. Yeah. That's better.
Sir, I have a general doubt, sir.
Let me finish one thing. So this the basic formulas were there in week 2. You just go through the content first today or tomorrow and solve the problems, and then we'll discuss all the doubts whatever you are having on the Sunday sessions. Okay. So this was it from my side. Maybe I'm really sorry for the the network issue whatever you were having. And one more thing, Are you fine with this timing, 7 to 9, or do you want to change this timing? Please let me know. This Friday session timing, 7 to 9. If it is
No,
fine, I can
fine.
continue. There is no problem in that.
No, sir, time is
It's fine,
fine.
sir.
No problem, sir.
Yeah, fine.
The time is fine. It's no problem.
So this time
Okay.
is fine. Also, night time is also fine. 8 to 10 and 8 to 11 because lots of
Okay.
time.
So it would be better if you schedule it in the night, in the
So that's
evening.
time. सर ये भी अच्छा समय है, ये भी गलत नहीं है सर.
Sir, usually it's for traveling time for office persons. So it will be better that if you shift it to like a weekend on the same timings or a bit evening.
Okay. Weekend. Okay. 7 to 9 in the weekend. This is what you're saying.
Yeah, but Saturday, Sunday, anything will do.
Okay, so we planned it in the morning for the working professional itself, like 7 to 9. I thought, okay, by maybe 9 or 10 they'll be going. So this was our thought while fixing the schedule, because and what happens in the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday we already have the session. If I'll put it on the Saturday, I can put it, but the problem is most of the courses will be having the session on the Saturday. Okay, so that may overlap.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's why we put it on the Friday. So that was my thought while putting this.
So, sir, what if you
I'm talking
do
calendar.
continue it on Friday only, but in the evening?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please don't take sessions on Saturday, sir, please.
So on Friday evening, there is
Saturday,
a lot of sessions in the evening.
Friday evening there will be a lot of, see, evening schedule we can't do it because evening schedule has already been taken up by every like other courses. So this evening slot we can't put it. Yeah, in the night 10 to 12 I can put it. That can be the only solution that we can do.
No, sir.
Because
So
So this timing
yeah,
is fine.
no problem,
I
sir.
guess
If you have no problems, and I
no,
also.
I don't have
Or
any
those who can
issue.
attend, those who can't attend, they can probably record it. It's really
Okay.
not possible.
Okay, so we'll stick with this timing. Sorry, we'll stick with this timing itself. Okay. I thought because the number was less as compared to the other sessions, so I thought okay there will be some issue. That's why the people are not coming. But okay, if the time is fine, I can continue with this 7 to 9 itself.
Yes, sir. So
Yes, sir.
please,
Oh,
sir,
For a
don't
student,
schedule
fine.
to
And
on Saturday, because Saturday we have sessions, sir, of Python.
This Saturday we can't shift it. I told you, right? Saturday there are a lot of sessions. So Saturday and Sunday we can't change the timing because there is that issue. Like all the courses mostly take the sessions on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's like very difficult to change it. Only one option that is left is like 10 to 12, I guess, because almost all the sessions will get ended by 11. So we can fix it by 10 to 12. That I don't think so is feasible to anyone.
no, sir. That's right.
Sir, I have a general doubt.
Yeah,
Can I
go
ask
ahead.
now? So I have taken, like, I'm a term student. I have taken Python and Maths 1. So what like for the qualifier and like CT we have TA sessions, which were like 5 or 6 days in a week. But in Python, I like there are no TA sessions, sir. So will it not will be there TA sessions for Python?
Okay, I'll check whether there's a TA for Python. I hope there will be, but I need to check it. I guess Karthik generally takes the session, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'll check with him whether the why the TA sessions are not occurring. So I'll check and let you know. Okay.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
I'll do that. Okay. So if the voice is clear, can I discuss the section formula? So
Yeah,
who
yeah,
was
yeah.
having?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Sir, your voice is clear now. Much better.
Sir, clear.
Yeah. Okay. So the section formula, I was just saying. So this is pretty simple. The formula you can see that.
கொஞ்சம் வலி இருக்கா வலி இருக்கா சொத்தை வலி இல்ல சொத்தப்பல் எடுக்கணும்னு வந்திருக்கீங்களா
Yeah, so can you please mute yourself?
மெடிக்கல் ஹிஸ்டரி இருக்கா சுகர் பிபி இருக்கா
So what I was saying is the section formula you're already aware. If you have a 2 data points, you can directly get the line segment. So here it is. So A and B was given, so you get the line segment. And then in the section formula, what happens is you can be given at other data points and can be given the information such that if it is lying on the straight line, that is internally it is cutting, right? If it is lying outside the straight line, that means it is externally cutting. Okay, so let's, for example, P is a data point that is internally cutting the data point, the
Sir,
straight
screen is
line.
not visible.
Okay, screen is not visible. Okay, 1 second.
Yes, sir. Visible. Fine.
Okay. Yeah. So what I was saying in the section formula, what is, you have a 2 data points, and if you have a 2 data points, you can get the line segment, and then you can have a data points lying on the straight line or maybe lying outside the straight line. Okay. So there can be a point. So let's, for example, you have a P, and that is internally dividing the straight line. So basically, it can. So this is dividing in the some ratio m is to n. So this is in such a way that this line itself, this point itself, is dividing this whole line segment in a some ratio m is to n. Then if you have to get the value of xy, so what is the coordinate, what is the data points that is dividing this whole straight line in some ratio m is to n? Okay, then this is the equation that has been given to you. So if you are able to calculate this x and y, that means this is the data point that is dividing this whole straight line in some m is to n ratio. Okay, it's pretty simple. And then if you have external point, that means this is the external, that is outside the data point, and then you have to calculate some data point such that this data point is externally dividing this whole straight line in some m is to n ratio. So this was the
Change the
formula,
position line.
and if you have to solve the equation, yeah, go ahead. So I guess,
Sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir. Sir.
yeah.
Sir, for coordinates, that formula is better. But sir, how can we find the which ratio line is divided? Sir,
Which ratio line is it? Which
Yeah.
ratio line? I am not able to understand.
Sir, means I can't, sir, I can't talk in English fluently. So, sir, m
Okay,
is
Hindi also you
m
can
is to
speak
n.
out. You can speak.
यस सर, मैं यह पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि सर जैसे कि आप ये बता रहे कि पी का कोऑर्डिनेट इस फॉर्मूला से ज्ञात कर सकते हैं, लेकिन सर किस रेशियो में लाइन को पी ने बांटा है वो कैसे ज्ञात करें सर? वो मान लीजिए हमको ज्ञात करना है तो वो हम कैसे जान सकते हैं?
Okay. See, if you have been given the, so if you have to calculate the ratio, you will be given the data points, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct? Because both can't be like unknown. If both are unknown, you can calculate it. At least because see, if you have been given the data points A, B, and then you will be asked, okay, what is the ratio in which P is dividing? But P should be given, the data point should be given for sure, right? If this is x1, y1, this is x2, y2. So this data point must be given x3, y3.
Yes, sir.
Then we'll be able to calculate. If you have been just told, okay, a data point is there, and what is the ratio in which it is dividing AB, you can't say, because the data point itself is not, because there can be an infinite number of data points on this straight line, right? So the data points must be given. Now, if you have been given the data points, you can have the equation. You already know that. If, let's, for example, you can just assume this as a m is to n, correct? And you can write the equation x3 in the form of mn, and again y3 in the form of mn. So you'll be having two equation and two unknown, right? So m and n is unknown, correct? From both the equation, you can solve the equation, right? You already know that. So how to solve the equation? So if you have a two equation and two unknown, you can directly get the value of m and n.
Yes. Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So that is
sir.
how we were able to solve this type of equation, because at least one thing was unknown. One thing was unknown and one thing was known. If 0 was known, so you can directly write the equation in the form of 0, and then you can get the value of k, right?
Yes,
If even 0, if it was y, something like that, why we were not able to calculate it, because if only x and y, how can you calculate? Because we are not getting. So for this equation, we have one unknown and one equation we were getting. So if we have one unknown, one equation, you can solve it, right? Yeah, that is why here it was given 0. If it was not given, so you would have written something like this, y, and from here you can't proceed. So your k will be something like this, y plus 3 upon 6. You need k to solve k, right? You need y to solve k. Okay.
Yes.
So at least one thing should be given, then only you can proceed further. I guess this is clear.
Yes, clear.
Okay.
So everything is solved by single formula.
Everything will be solved by the single formula. If
Okay.
you have any questions related to the section formula, you can solve it from this formula itself. These two formula you should be knowing: the coordinate of x and the coordinate of y. From here, you'll be able to solve everything.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else? Whatever I have
Sir, can you
taught you.
explain for the
Anything else if you
external
have, you can start.
when the point is
Can you?
external? The section formula when the point is external.
This is the formula. Basically, you write it in the form of negative values.
Yes, sir. Change the plus into minus.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, sir.
And for midpoint, divide by 2, x1 plus x2 divided by 2, I think.
Because m equals to 1 and n equals to 1 for midpoint, right? If a data point is there, and if this is the midpoint, that means it is dividing the whole line into 1:1, right? Ratio.
And sir, in area of triangles, in question find the midpoint. So उसमें भी कुछ midpoint जैसा कुछ टॉपिक है कि पहले midpoint ज्ञात करो, फिर जाके कोऑर्डिनेट आएंगे, फिर कोऑर्डिनेट को फॉर्मूला में सेट करना है, फिर निकालना है.
In which equation? Area of a triangle.
Yes. So this question in activity question.
No, area of a triangle, if I have been given the data points, all the three data. Okay, we'll discuss that activity questions, but I don't know what was given there. But if you have been given the area directly. But if you have been given to calculate the area, that so from the midpoint, like let's for example, this is A1, this is B1, this is C1, and then you have to calculate this area. Okay, then you can calculate this A1. A1 will be what? A plus B by 2, and this will be A plus C by 2. This will be what? B plus C by 2.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You can
Sir.
calculate like the x, and then calculate the area.
Yes. Fine. Thanks.
Okay.
Clear, sir.
Anything else from anyone? If you have anything else, you can just ask me. Otherwise, we'll wrap up. We'll meet on the Sunday. Today also you have a session 4 to 6 that will be taken care by the Asit and Ashish here. So you can see that you have a session today from 4 to 6. You have a session. Okay. So you can join it there. If you have a doubt related to activity questions, if you have a doubt, you can join it there 4 to 6.
Sir, math session 4 to 6.
Yeah. You have that doubt session. Yeah.
Okay.
Is the same link, sir?
That will be on the Gmeet. So that will not be on the Zoom. That will be on the Gmeet. You can see the calendar for that. The calendar is updated. You can see that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thanks everyone for joining the session. Okay. We'll meet again on the Sunday.
Okay, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks everyone for joining the session. Goodbye.
See you, sir.
See you too.